Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back again with another video, and today Arsenal have just went away to Selhurst Park and destroyed, well, not really destroyed, but more so in a nervy second half battle against Crystal Palace. At the end of the day, we secured the 3 points, which is what I'm happy about. It wasn't necessarily a pretty performance or something that we should be fond of. We fought and we won the win with 10 men down. Let's talk about it and let's get into the game. But before I do so, I want to say thanks to everyone who tuned in, who's going to tune in. And for those of you who are watching on Twitter, I really appreciate it. It's been a long time since I've gone live, and I thought, why not restart the season? Going live for Arsenal games this season. We're back in the Champions League, and I am back stronger than ever before and looking forward to this match reaction. So let's get straight into the video, shall we? Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everyone's keeping well and having a great summer so far. Today, Arsenal went away from home to Selhurst Park on a Monday night. Mind you, Arteta has yet to win on a Monday night football. And today, that curse was finally broken with a penalty won by Eddie Nketiah, who a lot of people slated in the game, including me, for missed chances. And scored beautifully put away by no other than captain, the magician, Martin Ødegaard. A nervy game, a championship style win, but at the end of the day, that's 3 points in the bag. Cue that Timber and Saliba meme with them holding the bag with the third kit, because that's what we secured today. No matter how much problems Jordan Ayew tried to cause with Tomiyasu, yes, Tomiyasu did get sent off. We are going to talk about that sending off and David Coots' poor officiating, or should I say inconsistent officiating, later on in this review. What I do want to say is a win, 3 points on the board. But let's talk about that performance and some tactical changes that Arteta made in today's lineup. So beginning with the lineup, we got rumors that Gabriel was dropped earlier on by FPL scouts who suggested that Gabriel would be dropped again for this game, similar to how he was dropped for the Nottingham Forest game. And like the rumors, it didn't fall on deaf ears. It actually came to life, and Gabriel was on the bench today. So the lineup today consisted of Ramsdale in goal, Partey at right back, Ben White, Saliba, Tomiyasu back in the squad, Rice, Havertz, Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah up front. So going with this lineup, I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with the changes in terms of the lineup, but what I didn't understand was, okay, who was going to be playing up front? Because I saw in the Forest game, Arteta was trying to integrate Kai Havertz to play up front in the second half of that Forest game. He was slowly easing into putting Havertz up front in that false nine position. First of all, like the lineup, okay, I was happy with whatever. It's what Arteta put out. I'm going to back the players regardless. Going into this game now, the first 10 minutes, we looked all right. We looked like we were getting chances and trying to put them away. But Palace on the other side were dominating us and also getting more chances in possession on the ball. And it felt like in the first half, we struggled to convert our chances and struggled to take our chances. I think that's what I want to say in terms of the penalty decision. Let's talk about that. So after the first half, we come into the second half where Eddie Nketiah wins a penalty for us on a challenge with the keeper. Now that penalty decision, I think it was a clear penalty, and okay, fine. Ødegaard scores it. Brilliant goal. And brilliant for Eddie Nketiah to score that penalty. But let's rewind a bit. Eddie Nketiah had more than 3 chances today to score and put this game to bed. We would have been 3-0, 4-0 up. Now people will argue, oh, why aren't we giving Balogun a chance? Why aren't we giving Balogun an opportunity? First of all, Balogun's about to be sold. It is like he wants first team football, and we're not able to offer him first team football with clearly Jesus Havertz potentially being the other false nine striker, and then Nketiah. Balogun also, before when he was with us, he was also missing a lot of chances. I'm not trying to justify the actions, but it is the facts, and the facts speak for themselves. But Eddie Nketiah today missed a lot of chances and failed to convert a lot of chances into goals. But one thing I will give him credit for, when and where it's due, is he actually had a good game, regardless of missing the chances. I know that's like a clear indication of a good performance, but he won us a penalty. He won us the goal that got us the 3 points on the board. So putting it into perspective that way, I do think like his performance was just all right. And like at the end of the day, he won us the penalty, that won us the goal, that won us the game, 3 points on the board. So it is what it is. We move on from there. Personally, in my lineup for this game, I actually had Trossard up front, because I was saying to myself, Trossard has been excellent in preseason, excellent every time he comes on as an impact substitution off the bench. He's been incredible and outstanding. I just don't understand why Mikel isn't giving him that start yet. Is it because he's more effective as an impact substitution than a starting player? I just feel like, why don't we, if we're going to rotate the starting 11, why can't we give Trossard a chance in the starting 11 up front as striker? I think he's more prolific. He's able to convert. He's able to take his chances and convert them into goals, which sometimes Eddie Nketiah fails to do. Moving on. Okay, Ødegaard wins us a penalty. We're now secure a 1-0 lead over Crystal Palace, holding on to a 1-0 lead. Tomiyasu gets sent off. Now let's talk about this. So Havertz, actually, if you look into the game on a replay or on highlights, Havertz was the one who was time wasting, purposely or accidentally, who knows, but Tomiyasu was the one to get booked. That was the first yellow. The second yellow, it was a stupid decision to make, and the referee decides, okay, it's a second yellow in the span of, I believe, 7 minutes, 2 yellow cards in the span of 7 minutes, and Tomiyasu is now shown a red card and gets sent off. David Coote, retire now. Thank you very much, because his officiating was ridiculous, inconsistent, and very poor. In fact, if Havertz was the one time wasting, and if we're still going to book players for time wasting, then Havertz should have been the one booked initially, and Tomiyasu for the second yellow, which was not even a clear indication of a yellow card, shouldn't have been given in the first place. By the way, Jordan Ayew grabs Bukayo Saka's shirt, pulls him down on a yellow when he's breaking away from him, and the officials are clearly blind to see that. No care whatsoever, because it's Arsenal Football Club. Because it's Arsenal Football Club, oh, we're just not going to mind that. We're just going to disregard that. Very inconsistent officiating in the Premier League. We always talk about this, and I know I'm not trying to blame the officials for our performance, but it did cost the game in terms of us being 10 men down and having to make a lot more defensive substitutions by Mikel Arteta early on in the game, or so in the second half of the game, because of this sudden change of the game. Tomiyasu getting sent off changed the game, changed our attack, and we had no longer a creative attack on the field other than Kai Havertz. At one point in the second half, Bukayo Saka was actually playing second half. In the second half, was actually playing as a left back. After Tomiyasu gets sent off, we're now making a lot more defensive substitutions. I feel like Jordan Ayew should have been sent off. It was ridiculous substitutions in terms of us having to do defensive substitutions because of this red card. All right, let me talk about William Saliba. Saliba's ball recovery tackle in the first half in today's game was my highlight of the game, other than the 3 points on the board. William Saliba, at his age, he is sublime. That's one of the best center backs in the Premier League. Yes, I said it, and I will stand by it, because William Saliba today was incredible. Declan Rice was another player who I will say joint man of the match, either Saliba or Declan Rice. I felt like the two of them, from the first half to the second half, from minute 1 to minute 90, both of them demonstrated an incredible performance just above the rest. And the other people I will mention hereafter. Declan Rice showed quality and levels to his game today. I know he didn't get on the score sheet, but he did have a great performance, and it was nice to see him getting everywhere he needed to be, and also trying to help out from our defense to our attack in the middle of the park, at least. With Thomas Partey at right back, Declan Rice did demonstrate the better qualities in midfield, knowing that Thomas Partey was not going to be in the midfield position. Partey playing at right back, similar to how he played at Atletico. Solid performance yet again, and we did see Partey at right back last week against Nottingham Forest. I'm not sure if Arteta is going to stick to that just to accommodate Kai Havertz, to try to accommodate Kai Havertz in the midfield or as a false nine. It looks like we're kind of sacrificing or shifting and changing Thomas Partey to try to integrate Kai Havertz into our system more. Saliba made that challenge in the first half to stop Crystal Palace from a goal-scoring opportunity, which if we had still got that penalty would have been 1-1 and equalized. So that tackle by Saliba, the ball retention was incredible to see, especially at his age. Palace's penalty. Now let's talk about Palace's penalty. I disagree. I don't think it was a penalty because if you look at it from two different angles, Thomas Partey got to the ball first. So I would have been shocked if it was given personally, because when I saw the clip, it looked like Eze dived twice in the box and wasn't even booked for that. Oh, no shocker there. And then Partey gets a touch on the ball first. Partey gets the 1 second. Partey gets a touch on the ball first, and it goes to a penalty decision. So I would have been surprised if it was given myself. Other than that, I do want to say that this was a nervy second half with 7 minutes added on in extra time. I said to myself and to my friends, this is going to be the longest 7 minutes we are going to see. And it's only the second game of the season. Our first game away from home, and it was a nervy one. At the end of the day, I do want to highlight the fact that a couple of years ago, with the defense that we had with Kolasinac, Mustafi, etc., we would have never been able to carry out a 1-0 lead away from home to Selhurst Park with 10 men down. Arteta and the team that we have now has demonstrated the resilience to carry on. Yes, it was a nervy, very nervy second half, but the boys demonstrated that they had the mindset and focus as well as resilience to carry on that 1-0 lead. In the second half, close to the end, before the 7 minutes were added on, Crystal Palace did have a couple of chances, but Ramsdale was clear on his saves. He didn't really have much to do. He wasn't really tried and tested, to be exact, but he did sweep up when it mattered and did the basics. That's all that mattered. At the end of the day, I felt the players that outshined the most were Partey and Partey to a certain extent, Declan Rice, and most of all, William Saliba. I also felt that Ødegaard had a great game and oftentimes goes under the radar. The game did get better when Gabriel and Leandro Trossard came on. I felt like Arteta made that substitution at the right time. Mind you, that Tomiyasu sending off did make us make the substitutions a bit more quicker or more defensively than attacking substitutions. Kai Havertz, I felt like at times in the game, first of all, he should have been booked for time wasting. He just looked lost. It wasn't necessarily a poor performance, but it wasn't that great of a performance. And I really want it to work for him. I really hope he'll do well and try to get better in terms of integrating in this team. I think Arteta is going to work with him and see where he'll fit into the team. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing my voice. I was nervous in the game. Other than that, I think I've covered everything, and my man of the match would be William Saliba. I think he had an incredible game from minute 1 to minute 90, and you don't see that much from a center back in terms of not just the defending the back line, but also like scaring attackers, bringing the fear back in Arsenal from attackers, and he really caused problems. It was a shame for Tomiyasu to be sent off. It's going to be a 1-game suspension from my understanding, so he will be out for the Fulham game at home next weekend coming up. Now, 3 points on the board, 2 wins into for Arsenal Football Club. Some people will say, yes, it was a penalty to Crystal Palace, but in my opinion, I think Thomas Partey got to the ball first, and if it was given as a penalty, it would have been an extremely soft penalty. By the way, Liverpool had a similar decision just this weekend. So that's another thing, the inconsistency in officiating. We talk about often, season after season after season, and nothing seems to change for the better. With that being said, Arsenal 10 men down, continue to carry out the lead, get the 3 points on the board. Selhurst Park is not an easy place to go to, and Monday Night Football for Arsenal Football Club is a banana skin type of fixture for us to get the 3 points on the board, no injuries, no casualties, and let's get out of there and move on. Training ahead this week for Fulham at home. I'm confident that we are going to dominate Fulham, and hopefully we'll take the win over Fulham. 3 points on the board is what matters to me. It wasn't a pretty game, but I will give credit to the whole team as a collective unit. I felt like Arteta did get the substitutions right. I'm not sure for exact reason why Gabriel was dropped. There was rumors before the game that Gabriel is being linked to a Saudi club, Al Hilal. Sorry if my pronunciation is wrong for that club. I'm not Arabic, so I apologize. But he is being linked to a Saudi club. We're not sure if there's any truth to the rumors, as David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano have yet to come up with the report on it, if it's true or not. We're just hearing minor rumors about it. Hopefully he stays. I really hope he stays. I don't want him to go. He's a really good defender, and him and Saliba have been incredible for us. I think it's been like a brick wall of defense, so to speak, with Saliba and Gabriel. With that being said, 3 points on the board. We secure the win. Ramsdale's hardly tested. A comfortable 3 points in terms of us not giving up. That's what matters to me. Showing effort, not giving up, and moving on. 3 points, we got it at the end of the day. After seeing Man United lose, after seeing Chelsea get humiliated by West Ham in a London derby this weekend, there was a lot of pressure for us, not only from our own fans, but also from rivals to perform. A lot of people will say, who cares what rivals think? I'm just saying for the fans that there was a lot of pressure on us to perform, and any game away from home is not necessarily easy. The one thing I do have to say for the upcoming Fulham game is I really hope we keep a clean sheet. Our clean sheet record at home needs to improve. We have to stop conceding goals, silly goals at home, like the Nottingham Forest match. We conceded a needless goal that could have been prevented. There was mistakes, individual mistakes leading to goals. Yet again, same old Arsenal. So that's one thing I want us to improve at home. With that being said, I believe on the 31st is the Champions League draw. I will be going live or doing a pre-recorded video for the Champions League draw. And this upcoming Sunday, I will be live again for Fantasy Premier League Game Week 2 review. My Game Week 2 fantasy team this week has been an awful nightmare. I benched Gabriel in my fantasy just like I knew Mikel would, not to brag. But mind you, the points on the board from Man United players and Chelsea players were shocking. I got nothing. And this week, I had a very terrible game week. I know it's very early in the season for Fantasy Premier League, but I had a stinker of a game week. Hopefully you guys had a better game week than me. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. It's Miss Melina with 3 S's, and check out my Fantasy League team. There will be a prize for the top 2 winners of my league. Every season I do the same thing. It's quite competitive. There's over 500 people in there across the world, and it gets really heated in there. So do join my league if you do want to. And with that being said, I am going to wrap up this video. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. I'm going to read the chats right now. Sorry, I haven't been reading them. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Thanks, Todd, for tuning in, and shout out to Wilson, shout out to Jordan. Hi, Renee, hope you're well. Yeah, it's been a long time. I took a break when Steven passed away. It took me a while to come back on YouTube. Steven was a good friend of mine, passed away from liver disease, and his channel cannot continue due to login issues, as his phone line was disconnected for obvious reasons. So in memory of Steven, I thought, let me get back on YouTube and continue my channel. I will be taking the charity Children's Liver Disease Foundation streams on my channel, just in memory of Steven. I thought I'll do that. Thank you, Steve, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hi, Moss. He says, this never happens. Okay, Mel, instead of Tariq. Thanks, Moss. Yeah, I'm trying to go live more consistency, so I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Thanks, Luca, for tuning in. Oluwisen says, good job, Melina. Thanks so much. Hey, Josh. Hope you're well. I'll watch your reaction after. Yusuf says, a scrappy 3 points playing away with 10 men for 30 minutes in the London Derby is not for everyone. Yeah, you summed it up perfectly. If you were to say this game in a sentence, I think that's what I would say too. Saliba and Rice, my man of the match. Yes, I think Saliba is who I'll give it to personally. And that's no bias because I do have Saliba on the back of my kit. AFCG says, go on, Mel. Thanks so much for tuning in. True Gunner says, 1-0 to the Arsenal. We take it and move on. 100%. Especially away from home to Crystal Palace. Moss says, weakest 2 yellows I've ever seen, that Martinelli madness. Yeah, I was really upset that Martinelli got taken off and sacrificed for Havertz to still stay on the pitch. I didn't understand that substitution at all. But anyways, we got the 3 points. We're just going to move forward. Hi, Paul. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, JPT. Hi, Steve. Hope you're well. And Binny also says Rice and Saliba for man of the match. Yeah, I think man of the match and player of the match. I'd give Saliba man of the match and Rice player of the match. Adi10 says you should blame Arsenal for that needless red card. One of the things I detest about my Arsenal, they like time wasting. Why wasting time after you're 1-0 up in the 50 minutes? Yeah, so like I was saying earlier in my video, it wasn't Tomiyasu who was doing the time wasting, though. The time wasting was from Kai Havertz. So Kai Havertz should have been the one booked. And Tomiyasu getting booked for the second yellow, it wasn't even a second yellow to begin with. So then that automatically becomes a red, and he's sent off. Hi, Vaughn. Thanks so much for tuning in. Are Arsenal fans coming around to Eddie and Ketia yet? I'm not Eddie's critic. I don't hate him, but I also am critical of every player. I just say things as they are. I don't sugarcoat things. I didn't say he had a very poor performance, but he did miss chances. Again, I gave credit to him where it was due for winning us the penalty that won us the game because of Martin Ødegaard scoring the penalty. Gilbert says, Tomiyasu, never ever again, unfair red card. But yes, that lad has not been good for 2 years now. With Tomiyasu, you have to keep in mind that he was injured for a lot of the time. So I'm not sure if he's not fully fit or what the case is. He is seeming like he's injury prone. Hey, Niall, thanks for tuning in. Niall says, hi, Mel, wasn't pretty on the eye. It was all about the 3 points tonight and winning ugly. 2 wins out of 2. On to Fulham at the weekend. Great to see you back streaming. Thanks so much, Niall. Hi, Emmy Baba. Hope you're well. I did speak about the sending off. Sufyan says, I really enjoyed your post-match analysis. Keep it up. Thanks so much. But this was just off the top of my head. No script, nothing. I don't tend to do scripts. I just say what I saw and what I feel of the game. I don't sugarcoat things. That's just how I do things here on my channel. So sorry if I messed up some pronunciations. Please don't crucify me. Hi, Jake. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, I am going to be wrapping up this stream. I've been rambling for 22 minutes. Hey, why not? Thanks for tuning in. It's been a while and nice to see you in the chat. I am going to wrap up the stream. I think I've covered the key points of the game and what I wanted to talk about into this game. Moving on to Fulham, I hope we change the starting 11 to put Thomas Partey back in midfield, which would be much better to see rather than sacrificing Tomiyasu at right back to accommodate for Kai Havertz up front. Moving on to Fulham, like I mentioned earlier, I want us to maintain a lead, but also maintain that clean sheet. I think that's important this season. Last season and the season before, we noticed that we would concede a lot of sloppy goals and silly goals from individual errors leading to goals. This season, I really want us to improve to keep more clean sheets home and away from home. Fingers crossed, and hopefully that can happen. I will be back next week for Fulham, but also on FPL Casuals. Do check them out on FPL Casuals YouTube channel. I do feature on there weekly every Sunday for FPL game reviews, also team selection tips, and fantasy chats. If you are playing Fantasy Premier League, I will leave my FPL league in the description down below once this video is done. If you do want to join, you will be added for Game Week 3 once this game week is all wrapped up. Thanks, everyone who tuned in, and to all the new subscribers. If you haven't already checked out my content, I haven't been live for a while. I took a long break due to losing a close friend of mine. It really affected me, and it took me a while to come back. It still feels like a huge void to go live without Steven around asking for the link or asking to come on. He'd often challenge my opinions, so it's kind of hard to do streams again, but I really appreciate everyone who tuned in. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I do have a playlist of guest appearances that I've been on, and also check out my Twitter. It's Miss Melina. I'm close to 50,000 subscribers on there. I really appreciate everyone, and I do interact with fellow Arsenal fans across the world on Twitter. Thank you for tuning in, and I will be back again next week. That's all for now. Take care, everyone, and adios. Bye. Have a great week, everyone. Bye. Oh, and make sure to like the video. Sorry, I forgot to say that. Thanks. Bye, guys.